Okay, sorry. I'm gonna like rewind and like start everything over again. Okay. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. I'm Lael, an ambassador part of Troop 10080. I appreciate all of you for supporting my Gold Award and taking the time to join this meeting today. This meeting will be recorded and I ask that you remain muted, and if there are any questions, to please put them in the chat. This Zoom will be a part of a series of Zoom sessions with different individuals of the DHH community. So the speaker that we have today is Leah. Welcome, Leah. I'm glad that you were able to join me in this meeting today. And if you'd like to introduce yourself now, you may do so.
Hi, I'm Leah Millon. I'm the president of ASL Club at South Plantation High School.
Okay, Leah, there are a few questions that people have asked when filling out the registration form for this meeting to either get to know you or get to know more about ASL and the community. So I'm going to start with asking you the questions. It'll go, I ask you the question, and then I'll mute, and then you can answer. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the first question is, why did you decide to join the ASL club?
So I started taking ASL in middle school. At Seminole Middle, they offer ASL classes. I think they're the only middle school in the county that does that. So I started with ASL in sixth grade and I just kept doing it. I kind of fell in love with it. And so freshman year of high school, when they offered to join the club, I wanted to grow into that experience more and just have more of an opportunity to really get into the language and learn as much as I could. Yeah.
Thank you, Leah, for answering beautifully. And the next question that someone has was it difficult for you to learn ASL?
I think, yeah, any language comes with its difficulties, especially sign language, because it's so different from anything else. I mean, you're not speaking words, it's trying to convey the same things that you convey with English, but without words. It's obviously a difficult concept for a lot of people to grasp. But I think with anything, practice makes perfect, and we learn.
Thank you, Leah, for answering again. Um, Another question that someone had was, why did you, well, personally, I know you as being in the ASL um, crew for drama, and someone was wondering why you decided to join that crew.
So when it came to joining at South in the drama program, I had already been in drama before coming to South. I did it in middle school as well. So then I joined the drama program and I saw that, the way we use sign language in the shows, and I wanted to be a part of that. I enjoyed glossing, which is translating English into sign and making that work. And I just wanted to be a part of that. So yeah, I joined the crew.
You, Leah, for telling us about your passion. Someone was also wondering, do you have a passion for theater or the arts in general?
Yeah, I've always been like a very artsy, creative person, and theater was a way for me to express that. I'm the co-designer and crew chief of costumes in art theater as well, so that's like another thing that I'm really passionate about, and just yeah, something else I love about theater.
If ASL was not offered at South, would you continue to pursue it in any other way you could, or no?
I think I would definitely try. I mean, it's something that I do care about, and I think I would try my best. It would definitely be a little harder. I think learning sign, like for example, online classes, I know that that's an option, but I definitely think it'd be harder to learn. But I think I would definitely try.
Um, do you try to make experiences with the DHH community or HOH members outside of school, like get-togethers or events?
There's Starbucks socials that are held at a specific Starbucks here in Broward. And I did learn about those through school. So I've attended a couple of those. I mean, I try my best. It's definitely nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie to interact with the DHH community while learning sign because obviously I'm still learning. I'm nowhere near perfect, nowhere near fluent. So it's definitely nerve-wracking, but I try, and it's definitely an important part of learning the language.
Sorry. Do you have plans on taking ASL classes or becoming like any president or vice president for a foreign language in college?
I think wherever I end up going to college, I'm a rising senior. Wherever I end up going, if there's a club, I definitely want to be a part of that. And taking classes that revolve around ASL and studying deaf culture and all of those things, that's definitely something I would want to be a part of, and just to continue my learning journey.
If there was no club or courses offered to you, would you maybe want to start one up yourself?
I think that's definitely a great idea. It's something I want to look into. Yeah, yeah, why not?
Okay, thank you, Leah. Um, what is your recommendation for someone who is timid about learning ASL?
I think there's nothing to be scared of as long as you come into it with respect and truly wanting to educate yourself and every part of the language, everything that comes with ASL. It's more than just some words that you can make a sign for. It's there's a different structure, a different grammar, a different culture that comes with the deaf community, and that's something that you need to be open to. And I think as long as you have that open mind and the willingness to learn, you're good. There's nothing to worry about.
Okay, thank you, Leah. Um, have you, I kind of already asked this, but have you done anything outside of school with the ASL club or its members or just ASL in general?
We try to host events throughout the year that fall outside of the school. Like we do this thing every year called Signing Santa with uh, different elementary schools and middle schools that have deaf students, and they'll come and we'll host a little event for them around like the holidays. We try our best with things like that, and yeah, so we do stuff sometimes. We try.
I was wondering, Leah, would you happen to know who Signing Santa is or no?
So our signing Santa, that is a secret that I cannot share. But he is a deaf Santa Claus and he does interact with the kids. And it's, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Um, Prior to high school, have you had any other experiences, like rather than just middle school? Like, have you had any encounters with people showing signs or doing signs or anyone from the DHH community?
Not necessarily anyone from the DHH community that I know that knows sign. Um, I think my first introduction to it was my mom. She took sign in high school and college. And like growing up, she'd teach me like the alphabet and like simple things that she remembered. And it definitely intrigued me and brought me to wanting to take the class.
That's really cool, Leah. Like, okay, your mom. Um, when did you start taking ASL classes? I know you kind of already answered this. Do you feel it was hard to learn at that age that you did, or would you recommend someone to start learning signs when they're younger, or what would you recommend?
So I started in sixth grade. That was my first time taking a class, and I've taken it since then. Um, I think It would be easier as you're younger. It's easier to like accommodate when you're younger. I think your brain just processes the having two languages quicker. Um, yeah, I think as you're younger, it'd be easier to, really soak it in.
Were there any signs that were the most difficult for you, or just things that you constantly had to work out before you got like better at it?
Not necessarily signs. I don't think vocab was ever the issue for me. It was more of like memorization and practice. But I think the hardest part of learning sign, especially as an English speaker, the structure and the grammar of the language, because it's completely different. There's like the structure, the way we structure sentences in English versus ASL, it's almost completely flipped backwards. And that's something that's definitely hard to accommodate to.
Thank you, Leah, for answering. Um, are there any of your favorite signs or like signs that like you just like knew flawlessly, like when you like first learned them?
There's definitely signs that when you see them for the first time, they stick with you. There's signs that are called iconic signs, that it's like a direct representation of the thing you're signing about. Um, I mean, I've always had some of my favorites, like soda for some reason has always been my favorite sign. It's like, it's this. It's like if you're flicking up the soda tab, and I don't know, it's just always stuck with me. There's some that are like cute, like friend is this. And I thought it was always like cute. It really showed friendship. Yeah, there's signs that you just kind of grow an attachment to almost.
Okay, thank you, Leah. That was all the questions that I got, but I'm going to look at the chat and see if there are any questions that you can answer. There are questions that people have. I'm going to ask you the questions that they had in the chat. The first question that someone asked was, is it hard to translate an ASL for drama?
I mean, I had done stuff like that for class before, but it's definitely like there's a bit of a learning curve because obviously theater, we do plays and we do musicals. So translating stuff that fits into the concept of a song, songs are very metaphorical. You have to make sure it flows with the music, and it definitely takes practice. We have Mr. Jeff West, who's a DHH teacher at South, and he's so helpful whenever we have questions of how to translate things correctly and make sure the whole concept gets across. Yeah.
What are some of the things that the ASL Club does?
So we hold tutoring sessions for any students who are taking ASL class who might be struggling. We have socials. We try to do them once a month, which is just getting any ASL students who want to come, and it's completely silent. You can only use sign to communicate, and that's just something that we do with students to really like get them into the language and um, like push them into that experience. It's like that's how you learn. That practice is very important. We try to bring DHH students into that as well. Just invite them into the socials. Um, then we do events like signing Santa, signing the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance for school events whenever that opportunity is offered to us. And yeah.
Thank you, Leah. Definitely the club sounds really fun and I'm excited to work with you guys. Do you think members of the DHH community like that are, sorry, one second. Do you think members of the DHH community like that, like that? I'm sorry, one second. The question says, do you think that members of the DHH community like that you're learning and going to the events?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of positive feedback. I think people like to see their language being loved and um, being shown respect to, and it brings an accessibility for them. Um, I've seen a lot of people who promote learning sign language and learning it correctly, and I think it's important. And more schools should offer it, and more people should try their best to respectfully um, coordinate themselves with the DHH community. And I think it's become very like polarized, and people try to separate themselves from it for whatever reason. And I think that's something that needs to end almost, and people need to just come together more and show love for each other.
Thank you, Leah. That was very inspirational. Um, how did signing Santa start, if you know the answer to that?
Signing Santa has been going on for years, way before I got to South. I'm pretty sure it started with Mrs. Collins, who is the teacher, the ASL teacher at South Plantation. So yeah, it started years ago, and it's been in coordination. We hosted at the fire department here in Plantation, and it's been happening there for years.
Can you explain like a little about like what signing Santa is and what you guys do?
So basically, we just host. It's almost like a little get together, a little party for kids in different middle schools and elementary schools. I mean, schools normally host something with the holidays, and it's just to give them something directly for them, something special that involves their language, and completely surrounded by people who understand them and can communicate with them, and to give them that same experience that kids get of, going to the mall and sitting on Santa's lap and telling him what you want for Christmas, telling him what you want for the holidays. And it's just to give kids that experience. And while they're waiting to meet Santa, we play games with them, and we'll color and draw and just anything holiday related. We get them pizza, and it's just like a little party, like you would at school.
That sounds really fun. I'm glad you guys, give them the opportunity to, you know, make connections and be social. Um, are you able to show us what your favorite sign is?
I mean, I have a couple. I don't think I have just one. There's like friend, as I said earlier. I think it's like a really cute sign, and it really shows um friendship and like companionship. Family, I think, is also really beautiful. It's two F's, and it's just showing like that group and family. Um, oh, a silly one that it always makes me giggle, and that's I think it stuck with me. Turkey, is this. It's a G or a Q hand shape, and you just shake it under your chin. And I just always thought that one was silly.
That was cute, Leah. Thank you. Um, can you show us some more signs that you think stuck with you?
There's definitely some, like, I don't know, there's just when you're learning, kind of there's this experience in class when our teacher would do a sign and everyone kind of just copies it, and they talk about, wow, that's such a cute sign. Like I really like resonate with that. Um, that happens with some signs like habit. Habit is like this, and I think or tradition in a way, it really shows that like this habit, something that sticks with you. Let's see, what are some more? Gymnastics. It's like two little legs in the bar, and it's like this gymnastics, and I think it's a cute representation of it. And yeah, it's always signs like that, like stuff that you can really connect to the meaning of the word.
Thank you, Leah, for showing us some cute little signs. Um, is the ASL Club only for students taking the class, and are DHH students allowed to join the ASL Club?
So when it comes to people who don't take the class or have never taken a class, that's a little harder, and I think it'd be a little harder for them to truly enjoy what the club can offer. Obviously, they're welcome, and we're so open to anyone and everyone, especially DHH students. Like that's always important, and I think having the club open to everyone is the only right thing to do. So whenever someone comes and they don't necessarily know as much as someone who's taken the class for 6 years now. Um, we're obviously open to helping them learn and giving them whatever they need. Yeah, it's open to everybody.
Okay, thank you. I hope you guys get a lot of new and incoming freshmen to join. Um, the last question that was asked was, how many members are in the club?
Last school year, we had about 15 to 20 members. It really like fluctuates, especially throughout the year. There's people that come in, they come to everything. There's people that are a little more laid back. They only come to certain events, and yeah, but we have a good show out, especially with the amount of ASL classes that South offers, which is something we're so grateful for. It really brings people to the club.
There's about 30 minutes left, so if any of you have any questions that you'd like to ask, like feel free to put them in the chat, or if you have anything to ask Leah, you can go ahead and put it in the chat and ask her if anyone has any questions. So there are a few questions, Leah. One of them being if what do you do if you don't know sign language and you want to attend like the social event like Starbucks, like you said?
I think it's always good to show up. There's people there who can accommodate to people who don't know sign. Um, I think it's always good to show your face to try to learn. And I think deaf people are the best people to go to for help. The best that those are the people that you should be learning from. Ask them about how you can learn and how you can different things that are accessible to you and resources. And I think they're the best people to ask. So just show up, show your face, ask. There's never hurts to ask a question.
Thank you, Leah. Uh, how do you market the Signing Santa event and other events that the ASL Club does?
So we do have an Instagram account for the ASL Club. We post everything about our meetings, events, fundraisers, everything gets posted onto that Instagram. And we try to hang up those same posts. We print them out as flyers. We hang them up around the school. When it comes to events that are outside of the campus that aren't necessarily for South students. That's something that we coordinate directly with other schools. We reach out. Um, a lot of the times we get help from the DHH teachers at our school. You know, they know their people, and that's how kind of we spread things out.
Thank you. Um, how can the community members support the SPHS ASL Club?
I think the best thing that you guys could do is just show support by following the Instagram, give attention to the school. And if you can't so much support our fundraisers in the club, because sometimes they are restricted to school students only, students and teachers. If you can't do that, there's other ways to support ASL in general. Go to those deaf events, follow deaf creators and deaf artists and all of those sorts of things. Support the theater program at South. It's a really beautiful way to get to know sign language. And yeah, there's so many ways to support that don't just involve ASL at South.
Leah, if you'd like, I feel this is a great opportunity to share the Instagram or social media that the club has in the Zoom if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll look and see if I can get the exact username and I'll put it in the chat so everyone can follow.
Um, I'm wondering, Leah, if you'd be able to show like basic phrases in ASL or basic like conversational like signs. So like, hi, how are you? My name is, what is your name? Things like that.
Okay, we could definitely do a couple of those. Like the sign for hello is a B and it's just at your forehead and it comes out. That's like the more formal way to say hello. There's also hi is, the same general wave that we all use. So hello, hi. Something else you could do, how are you? So, how are you? The sign that's regularly used for how is this. It's two fives that are bent, they come together. Your dominant hand pushes out, that's how. Then, how are you? How you? That would be how are you? For like introducing yourself, my name, you can't really see my chest, but my, you kind of just tap a five to your chest. My. Then name is two H's, U's, and you tap them each other. So my name, and then you would finger spell your name with the ASL alphabet. Um, Another general phrase that's good to know, nice to meet you. So for nice, it's just two fives and your dominant hand slides across the other. So nice. Meet is two ones. Meet you. Nice to meet you. Those are some like basic, I think, good conversational starters.
Thank you, Leah. Those are really great signs to teach. Thank you. Um, Someone asks, how do you say dog in sign?
So dog, I can't completely show you, but you just hit with a five, you kind of tap your leg. I can't show you because I'm sitting, but you tap your leg and you bring it up and you snap. So yeah, dog. Some people just use the snap, especially if they're talking and they kind of shorten it. They just go dog.
Thank you, Leah. Someone asked also, Leah put the ASL Club's Instagram if the chat, if you could go ahead and follow to stay updated with any events that they have. Leah, somebody asked, do you use ASL at home?
I don't really use it at home too much because my family isn't really um like knowledgeable when it comes to ASL. I try like sometimes I'll fingerspell with my mom because she doesn't remember the alphabet. I'll try to teach it. I have a younger sister and a brother, and I'll teach that to them, like like the basics. But I catch myself like just when I'm talking to myself or talking to someone, I'll catch myself doing a sign, or if I'm spelling something, I'll spell it out, or if I'm listening to music, I'll start signing along with it. It's like once you're kind of in it so much, you just it kind of like comes out sometimes.
Thank you, Leah. Um, do you have any plans for the ASL Club for next school year? Yes, that's my question.
So obviously the same things that we talked about, we want to continue all of those. I want to do more fundraisers, more stuff that we could get the community to come to, like fundraisers at restaurants, and we can be there and we can help to educate people as much as we can. Um, we didn't really do too much of this last year, but in years prior, we would do like classes almost after school with teachers to teach them basic science and science relating to school, like that they could use in a classroom because we do have a good amount of DHH students at South. And that's something that's important to me, and I really want to upstart that and continue it. Um, and I want to sell shirts. I want to sell like merch almost for people to buy and just to get the club's name out there. Yeah, there's some things I want to do.
Okay, sounds great. I can't wait to buy some merch when you guys have that available. I was wondering, since you said South has, a good amount of DHH students, are there any DHH students in your class that, maybe you have the chance to communicate with, in sign?
So there's DHH students that do sit in classes with the rest of the hearing students at South. It just depends on the student and their needs. And we have such amazing interpreters at South that are there accessible to them whenever they need for classes. And then there's classes specifically for the DHH kids. When it comes to me specifically, the only time I've ever been able to have a DHH student in my class, just a registered student like me, is in ASL classes actually. Every year we've had a couple of deaf kids in the ASL classes with us, and it's always fun to see someone who experiences using sign every day learn it like the proper grammar. Like you know how in English even for us in an English class, it could be a little strange having to do things properly versus like the slang that we use every day, the way we text. And it's the same thing for the DHH community, like the proper versions and what the textbook says versus the stuff that they use every day with their friends. And it's always good to interact with them. And, we don't get those opportunities often. So I'm really grateful for South in that way.
Thank you, Leah, for answering. Um, Someone asked during lunch, does anyone in the ASL club hang out with any of the deaf students?
Yeah, there's especially the kids in our class, once we know them, obviously we pass in the hallway. If we see each other at lunch, we say hello to them and we try our best to make them feel welcomed. I think a lot of people kind of stray away from anyone else that they see that they are kind of scared to interact with because they don't know the same language and they don't know how they could communicate. And some people get very off-putting, but we all try our best. Those they become our friends like anyone else, and we say hi and we catch up in the hallway. And when you know someone, you know someone, and we try to keep it the same as it would with anyone else.
Um, I had just thought of a question, Leah. I know that Seminole is in close proximity to South, so do you guys ever work with them or go to their school to help them, or do they ever come to you? Do you guys ever have socials together? And I'm pretty sure Tropical, the elementary school, is close by there. Do you guys do anything with teaching them or, doing like the buddy system like they have with Key Club? Like, do you guys do anything with lower grade students?
So we have had socials with Seminole where we come try to get in contact with the teachers there, and they've brought their kids in the past to a social, and we had a whole social with them. That was really fun. Something I want to definitely do again. Tropical has brought their students to Signing Santa, and I know in the past we had that sort of buddy system with them, and we would go visit Tropical. That's definitely something I want to continue, like working with deaf kids and just giving them what we can and volunteering with them and just like fun activities to brighten somebody's day and all of that fun stuff. That's something I want to keep pursuing.
Hopefully you have a lot of freshmen, join that and get together and like feel around like what the space is like with that. Um, um, I think that's it for this meeting. I think it went pretty well. Um, thank you all for joining, and Leah especially. Thank you so much for, taking the time out of your day and your summer even to join this and help me. If you guys have any further questions, you know, my email is in the chat if you scroll all the way up. And my Facebook and Instagram are also in there. And Leah, if you'd like, you can also add your socials in there and your email if, you want people to ask you questions and things like that.
I put my school email in there. If anyone has questions about anything regarding to the club or you want to reach out about anything, any events and stuff, you can contact me there. And yeah, we could work things out. And the club Instagram, if you want to DM it, that's open to multiple club officers and we could get back to you, especially when school starts.
Okay, well, that concludes the end of the meeting. Thank you all for joining and taking the time out of your day to be here and listen and get to know Leah and learn more about the club at South Plantation High School. I hope you all have a great night. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.